All right, another day to trade, as always. But today, I think we're going to focus on completing our base build. As you may have seen, we have an incomplete base here. A little hub base or hab station looking like thing. Bit of a, not much of an archway, but a bit of an archway. So yeah, let's focus on continuing out the design of this here. Now, I think a few decisions to make here. Do we want to make the entryway right over here, or do we extend it out a little bit more to make room for things such as an airlock? Because we're going to need that, a proper airlock as well. As we can just be able to go in and out of the station and not waste the oxygen as I just did. So we can preserve the oxygen in the oxygen tank and not waste any ice, which I don't think I'm wasting any ice, to be honest. I think we have an oxygen farm that's actually getting us a little bit of oxygen, which looks about right. And if we are going to burn any ice for it, we'll probably burn a minimal amount. So ice, I think we have a decent amount, 10k worth, not including these things here. So that's a good thing. And we're not using any of those because I think the only ones that we are using up the ice for is these. So we can refill our bottles of hydrogen and oxygen. So that's the main piece there. But yeah, I really think we can continue on to update the base a bit. So let's just see what we need to do that first. So mostly interior plates and construction components for the angled interior walls. So we'll work with that. And let's just turn off the oxygen or vent for now, so we don't waste too much oxygen while we open and close these doors on a constant basis. And I keep forgetting I have a sensor here for automatic doors. Keep pressing open regardless. But yeah, so we need to find out, do we want to make a proper airlock in front here, or do we make it within this part of the base? I feel like we could probably just do it within this part of the base and kind of do the airlocks on the floor, or the vents on the floor, where we can walk on top of it. So we might be able to do that, but it's going to depend how long the base is. And the base, we definitely don't need it to be too long. So that's another thing. So we can just leave it up to wherever we are right now with the base to kind of figure that out. So let's see what we should do here. So I like the pattern here with the windows and everything like that, but we could change things up a bit as we go. And it looks like here is the main power source initially. So this is connected to right over there. And these are ladders, right? Yep, they're ladders. So we got to figure that out. But we are connected also through a pipe here. So we should be okay. But I think we're going to go as far back as right over there, as you see. Yeah, we already decided on that apparently. So I guess we could add the airlock within that part of the base. We probably just need, what, maybe 2-3 blocks worth of space for an airlock. So this is the door. So 1, 2, 3. And then right here would be the entryway. So hopefully that should be enough for a proper airlock. And I haven't really thought of doing how to do the proper airlock, especially with the event controllers that we have. And we want to make sure we do the proper airlock as I did in an experiment. In the sense that if I leave the main door from the inside, it's going to be pressurized here. It's going to be pressurized here. So once I'm in this section with the door closed, it's going to depressurize and allow me to get out of the secondary door or the main door on the outside. And then ideally, once I'm outside, it's going to pressurize once again within the inside of it. And when I'm stepping in towards the door, it's going to depressurize, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, I don't think we need that much of a detailed proper system because it's just me here. So I think we're just going to make it as simple as this. It's pressurized. leave this door, depressurize, and then leave this door. And then we'll just leave the inside depressurized for now, right? Because we don't need to pressurize it at this point. So when we return into the base, it's going to be depressurized. But when we get closer to this door, we'll pressurize this room. And then we'll be into this room without losing oxygen in that case. I think that would probably be the best way to do it. And it's probably going to be simple with the sensors, timer blocks, maybe the event controller, or action setups for the events. So we'll figure that out soon enough down the line. But I think that would be the idea for that proper airlock system. But if we have multiple players, yes, the initial thought would be to, once you leave the main door, the outside door, make sure everything's pressurized just in case somebody's still inside who needs to leave and go through that whole process. But since it's only me here, I think it's safe to say just leave it to be depressurized on the outer part of the airlock until we return. Sounds like it makes more sense that way. All right, so let's move things around because we're going to need to. And yes, eventually I think we're going to put an oxygen farm with the solar panels because it makes more sense that way. And it also will follow the sun. I put it here because, I mean, the rotation of the sun, it rises from here and around. So just placing it right there was more than enough to gather a lot of oxygen, to be honest. So it wasn't that bad of an idea in the first place. But okay. In the back here, we could kind of do the same as we did previously in the front. Which is basically adding the angled interior walls. Now, the problem now is I don't remember which color I used for this. So hopefully it's the same right here. It looks like the same. Okay, so we just place it all here until we run out of space. And a lot of the blocks in front of us is going to cause problems. Yeah, so that's not good. Okay, so we're going to have to... Okay, so I forgot about... I forgot our base has some interesting wall panels here. So actually, that's just the panel itself, so fine to eliminate that. We'll take this one out as well. I actually never knew the survival kit had these tanks in the back. That looks pretty cool. Makes sense because one of them should be oxygen and one of them should probably be hydrogen, if it makes sense that way. So I see there's a piping that goes in there to there and a separate piping. Yeah, I think one's for hydrogen, one's for oxygen. You don't want to put them both together at the same time, so that could be wise done that way. All right, so let's eliminate these ladders because we don't need them here for now. We're still connected through the piping here, and we'll leave it kind of connected like that for quite some time. Actually, we might need to put some safeguards here for this connection. So let's just put a safeguard connection kind of like that for now, just in case something goes messed up here. At least we have that to work with. Okay, so let's just build out the framing here. And again, we're going to run into this piping system where we don't need that pipe there. We could probably use something else instead of that pipe. And I'm not even sure what to use. It could be a conveyor junction. Oop, what was that? Oh, the solar panels. It could be the yeah, I think it's like a conveyor junction or something similar to that, to put that pipe there. It would fit a little bit better with conveyor junctions, I think, but it's not gonna look the best. All right, so we just add a top layer there, and here is the tricky part where we use that type of block. Light armor inverted corner. So I believe that would have been, and it would have looked like that. Okay, so we can also add one here. Perfect. So let's weld this up, see what it looks like, and continue with the rest. Alright, so that's all fixed up. We do need to move this cargo container out a little bit sooner or later. But I think we should be okay for now. And we did forget to build out the flooring and the base or structure of it. So we're going to have to take care of that as well. Okay, so I think we went with a weldless look to it. Yeah, it looks like it. So we're gonna invest in some steel plates here to put from here. Okay, I'm gonna leave this hole open so I can weld it from the inside out. And we're likely gonna need a ton more steel plates. Okay, so that's the base of it, and we're gonna have to add the flooring, which is the weldless panels. So we can add it on the bottom right here. And it looks like we can add it for these spots here as well, which had the light armor blocks previously there. Okay, so this space is kind of useless. It's not used for anything. Oh, the sensor. And we could, if we have to, kind of put a window here, or a vertical window, or one of these bar stuff here. Not this barred window, but maybe this one here. Or maybe even use... I don't think we can. I was thinking making like a door here. So we can go in and out of it. Can we make a door here? Maybe a vault door? I don't see a terrible need to do that. But we could play around with it if we want. If we are going to make a door... or a vault door, can we put one here? I think we can. Actually, yeah, we could. Okay. Now, the problem with this is there's really no point. Because even if we did put a vault here, we can go inside right here. Easy, right? But what is the point of this? I don't see a reason why we need to have access underneath. Because we can't even build underneath. We can't even build anything underneath here because of the panel block above us. That is kind of made from the bottom up, so we can easily step on it. So that's where we kind of have a problem with that. But I mean, if we really wanted a bunker-like thing, I guess we could hide underneath here. But we can't even place any blocks underneath also. I mean, we probably can, but it's still going to be hidden underneath the sand and or the Mars surface. So it is kind of pointless, but I mean, it could be a unique look to it. I don't know. I do find it to be fairly pointless. But, I mean, we could leave it for now and get rid of it later or whatever the case is. But, yeah, it would have been nice if I could build in here. Then it would be like kind of a vault protection or a room to protect myself from the storm. But we do have a lot of decoys out there. So, this just becomes like I don't know what they're called, but like it's underneath the house kind of thing. And usually that's where all the piping and everything goes. And I wish I could have just put piping underneath here, to be honest. But we can't. So this whole area just becomes really, really pointless. So yeah, I mean, let's just put the vault door for the fun of it, I guess. There's a nice little door here. And yeah, there's really nothing we can put in there. Not even a small vehicle that could even fit in there, I think. Yeah, we probably can't. So maybe we'll hide a gremlin or something in there. So one of these days. We'll just leave it as that for now. Okay. The rest of it, we're going to have to keep on going to at least make some of it airtight. So we have the roofing. So we just got to continue the roofing. We're just going to have to dismantle this roofing for now. And kind of go with the same pattern. So I think we're going to go with the same pattern as this until we get to the end and use that kind of archway thing. So let's just get rid of the roof for everything here. And probably should do it on this side. And I got to think about this. This is probably going to move, I would think. Because we can always build around all the equipment that we need here within that design I have in mind. Okay, so we can move everything later down the line. Actually, I didn't even calculate how this is going to be. It's going to be 2 blocks, 2 blocks, and a lane here. So 2 blocks, lane, 2 blocks in the lane. Okay, so actually, no, that's perfect. I think I did probably calculate it to begin with. So hopefully that's the case. Right, so let's add the panels. It looks like we used the plastic panel look here with the white. And we put a window in the middle. We can do that. We're going to do the same thing, but we can just put in the layers first. So we're going to build this starting from the bottom. So we can't build anything on top of it, unfortunately. I mean, we could throw junk on top of it. And we could borrow a look from what we've seen from a lot of the scaffolding or container, was it the shipping containers or storage containers from the abandoned settlements, and just throw in these things like this, these neon tubes here. So it looks like it's kind of glued together. Or we could use like a corn light or something similar to that. I don't know yet. Something simple enough. We just throw it in there. I think the neon lights here would do pretty well. And we could even go without actually just welding it up too. But for now, let's just continue on with the look. And of course, we'll deal with the colors a little bit later down the line. We just want to get something started here so we can just finish out the build. Alright, so that's kind of the same look as, I think it is the same look, but we'll finish off the sidings and also the colors. Let's weld everything up and let's just see the outcome of it. Alright, we're all set here. I did the coloring, I just got to do the siding, but I think this is going to be our station here for at least our kind of headquarters, hab station like thing. And I think this is going to work out pretty well. Actually, while I was welding, I was thinking maybe we could have built the floor in. I didn't realize vault closed that slowly. Maybe we could have used a different type of floor. And we could have utilized the Willis ducts. Oh, here's the grate that we could have used for design. See what that looks like. So here is a duct, whatever. And here's a grate. So we could use this as the design. And with this duct here, that means we could kind of make a secret passage too. Kind of. So maybe, should I do that? So if I replace the floor with ductwork. So that means we're probably going to end up using a lot of the junction one. Because we're going to put it all over the place and we just do single lanes. It's not going to work out that well. But that's going to be like extremely annoying as well. So maybe we don't do that. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like we would have to do a ton of the X junctions just to make it that we could walk around fully wherever we want to. But that's also just as ridiculous too. But it would be a secondary egress, which is fire safety in this case. we can't just use one exit and entry. We can use two if we really needed to. Do we really want to do that? If we do, like I said, we're probably gonna end up using a lot of the X junctions and a little bit of like the T junctions for the sidewalls. Yeah. And then if we had to, you probably build some kind of way upwards or downwards into into the vents on top. Is that an idea that we can probably work with? I mean, I don't mind trying it. So let's see what that might end up looking like. Okay. So we got rid of flooring for the most part. And we're just going to add the Willis ducts here. Okay, so I want to make it so that we can get into the ducts eventually down towards the bottom. But actually, to think about it, I don't think it's going to be possible using its own Willis ducts here. So we'd have to just have some kind of hole here so we can jump into it and use the caps. But how does that even work with the caps? Let's see. Because I don't think the cap actually does anything. Oh, these things require large steel tubes. That's much more expensive than our our panels as a floor. So let's just do this for an example. So can we even jump in? Oh, we could. And duck. Okay, so that works out, but we can't even get out. So that's a bit of a problem. So might not be a good idea to have something like that. But if we were to close it with a cap like so, can we open this cap? Nope, it's a solid thing. Okay. So but if we left it open with maybe, let's just say a T-junction, but we did it like this, or maybe not T-junction. We'd have to flip it around a little bit. No, that's not gonna work. Corner? No, it should be like this. But how can we get something so that it fits exactly the same? I think we would have to do that with the ramp. It ramps down, not up. So we're gonna ramp it up. We're gonna have to flip that around too. Right? So ramp this way. We can't ramp it this way. No, that doesn't work. So we can't really ramp it. So we can only make a hole for it. So yeah, that's not gonna be fun. If you used an X junction, even if we did it this way, it looks terrible. I mean, it's a good start, but it's not going to work well. It's too bad there's no top entryway. That would have been nice. But if we were to use it, we would probably do T junctions like this across the board. That way, when we're in there, we could just crawl underneath. So I don't know how we're gonna get it started if we're gonna have it up here. So even using like something like this, we just gotta leave a hole over here. So I mean, we could do it this way, but I don't know. It's not gonna look great. So like we could do this. Actually, no, we can't, because then that gets rid of the halfway mark here to be able to crawl inside. So it would have been nice to be able to ramp everything into it, but we can't. That's a bit unfortunate. Or maybe there is a way I'm just not seeing it. So if we did something like this, no, you can't ramp it. It's not a proper ramp. But we could actually do this instead. So if we had a hole opened up, we could do a ramp like this. And we would be able to go inside here and crawl in. Oop, we can't because the ground is in the way. So that stinks. And a halfway mark is right here. That's a little bit lower than the halfway mark. And if we wanted to, can we use something to ramp it slightly? That would ramp it only the halfway mark for the center, which this thing's not on the center. So let's see. Does that even work? Nope. We won't fit. Okay, so we can't use the vents here. So that stinks. That really does. Good kind of experiment with that, so we know we can't do that. Would have been nice. Alright, so I'm going to just put back all our flooring that we got rid of just before. Probably should have experimented with a smaller section and not have gotten rid of everything that we put in place. So we do have to decide on a door here. So do we put viewpoints here? Right here and then a door, or do we just or do we just put a door here? I feel like we could put in the viewports here and then do an offset door right over here, and that should be okay. So you can do something like that. Here we go. So that's the outer door. And I mean, it's not bad. I think we could roll with this. Unless we want to use, for these things here, instead of the angled version, we use these. Or we use the piping blocks that we were discussing in the previous video. Which doesn't look terrible, but I don't think it's going to work for the front here. I think we should just leave it like so. It does look kind of out of place just a tiny bit. That's where I'm having a little trouble with. But I think we should be okay. Outside looks fine. It's just the inside right over here. That's the problem I'm having with it. But it's not terrible. I mean, based on, you know, how we have all these right here, it's probably going to end up all kind of look the same too. So we could actually, you know what? I wouldn't even mind doing something like this for the window. Or this. So actually, you know what? For this right here, to get the viewpoints, we're gonna put windows on the outside anyways. So we could do not this block. I think we're gonna have to go with this one here. Like so. And that makes it more of a window, and we could probably attach a vent there too. Because we're just able to sneak right outside. But in this case, at least we can add a window right here and right here, and it wouldn't look too bad. So here's for an example. We'll just put one here, and I mean, you can see it from the outside, but that's not a big deal. The rest of it's gonna be like the regular panels for the outside wall. But here, now that looks more of a proper window, and it has a nice little slope to it, so it almost matches these angles blocks here, or the slopes there. So, and it has a nice little window. I like this. Okay, that's not too bad. We gotta figure out lighting soon because it's gonna get really, really dark in here. And yeah, I think we don't even need the viewpoints at this point. At this point in time, we could just use these for the most part, just to get that kind of same look. So we could do that. Yep, I think that looks like a slightly better window, to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing here for now, but if we were to add these pipings, actually doesn't look that great. So piping's not so much what I want, but I think using these, or maybe even these blocks later down the line, still would look pretty good in terms of windows. But I like to have it to have the half slope blocks. It looks a little bit better in terms like of a actual window. That's not too bad. So too bad there wasn't a block kind of like this, a solid block like this. That could have been useful. Okay, so that looks good. We just need to kind of get rid of all the unnecessary stuff, and then see if we can make this place a little bit in the airtight side of things, so we don't need all this excess stuff that we've originally had here. And I think we're gonna have to get rid of that sensor for now as well, and reprogram it later down the line. Right now, we're just gonna have to fight with the door as we always do anyways. But we'll figure that out. At least we're growing in terms of space. So we have a bed here. We have a bed here. I can get rid of this one for now. I don't think I've had put anything in here to hide it, right? No, I didn't. Okay, so let's get rid of this bed for now. And I know we have some lights here, but we're gonna have to remove it. And battery wise, we can move it elsewhere. We're gonna make a battery room. We're gonna make all types of functional rooms. Armory, we could probably leave it in this hab station so we get in and out of getting weapons instead of having to jump into a different station just to get weapons. But maybe we put a combo lock on it so people can't get in. But like I said, only myself, so what's the point? If more people were playing with me in that case, then yeah, we would probably think about locking it up, thinking about a proper airlock and things like that too. But we're solo, so it is what it is. Okay, so we're definitely not airtight just yet because the piping system here, and I think the piping system here. So we could definitely remove one of these pipes because we're already connected. I think it should be already connected with one of the pipes all around. Let me get rid of these panels really quick first. Oop. Do not think I can get rid of that one. I could likely get rid of, yeah, shower and the bathroom. I'll leave the bathroom for now because we need organics. Well, if we need organics, we can grab the organics from here. And we leave the kitchen alone as well. But in terms of everything being piped, and we should really have a secondary egress anyways. So we can get out easier instead of just one spot for emergencies. Just in case. But like I'm saying, Actually, no, we're not all connected. Interesting. So this piping here is connected to of this. And this piping is connected. So that's the sentry. Okay, so the half station is where is the central location of the piping. So in that case, we would have to put a piping right here into this here as our safety net instead. So we can easily do that, obviously. So let's take the piping. We're going to pipe it throughout this section right over here. And we do a conveyor pipe junction here just in case. But I think we're going to move everything anyways. So I'm not too worried about it. All right, there we go. So we should have a nice little connection here to our assemblers, refineries, and into our hab station. But in our hab station, we can now get rid of the pipe right over here. That we don't need for now. And we could kind of leave it exposed so we can move things around. We should get rid of this cargo container. So let's just move everything into the large industrial cargo. Should really rename this to like the main cargo container or something like that. So we can get rid of this. If I get rid of this, yeah, we can't get rid of that. That's actually holding. Oh, let's leave that light source here. But if I got rid of that one here, it'll lose its connection to everything else. So that's a problem that we don't want to have right now. But we do want to make this place a bit airtight too. So we are going to have to seal this off. So we're going to have to break one of these pipings for now. And I think it's going to be this one. And actually, you know what? I didn't even test it, but it looks ridiculous, obviously. But if we did add a pipe back here, would it still be airtight? Looks like the answer is no. So having that gap over there is definitely not going to help with airtightness unless I missed something. I doubt that. So let's get rid of that for now. We'll put a conveyor junction and that should make it airtight. Horrible looking item there, but it should help. Actually, I left the door open once again. So that could have been the problem all along. Nope. We have another problem. We are not getting pressurizing. And why is that? Is it the door? Everything else here looks good. Oh, this. We did not close this up. This is likely the problem. So let's put that in there. And get that settled in. Let's check again. All right, we're good. So we can pressurize now. So now going back to this. This again will look ridiculous if we were to add a pipe here and we could clearly see the outside. Yeah, that keeps a hole. So it would be nice to have a nice little piping system that has a bit of a wall to it. So something like this, but squared off eventually. So yeah, none of this is gonna really work. Maybe a sorter would do it, but you still see the hole around it, or the hose around it. So we're definitely gonna have to use a conveyor piece here. What does this connect? I think it does, because it's squared. Yeah. Huh. That looks pretty interesting. We could do this. Actually, no, that doesn't work because you still see the hole with that piece. So conveyor junction it is. We're stuck with this for now. And now we are good. Okay, so now we can be airtight and get some oxygen here. And of course, we have this as the main door. We still have this as a bed for now. And we'll work with that. We still have one light source right over here. We definitely need to add more. So a light panel. Should we work with light panels or should we work with like the other types of lights? I think these interior lights are nice too, but more than often it's just out of place in a way. But the panels are not bad. I could place one right over here, and that would probably give us a decent light source. So here we'll just plop it on. Do we need to add stuff in the middle eventually? I don't think so. So we could probably even do this whole entire thing, whole strip. Or maybe we work around the middle and just do this and this. And that way we have a little bit more lights in the inside of the base. So nice and bright, especially when it's nighttime or stormy or whatever the case is. Because sometimes the storm tends to leak into the bases. But it looks like it's not right now. So we should be good. Okay. And all right, that's not too bad. I mean, we could increase the intensity of the panels. So the light panels right here. We just do the radius, just radius or intensity. Intensity will make it a lot brighter, as you see here. So there's 3 light panels, and it's more than enough lighting in here. But we can finally get rid of this one. But look how dark it is right now. So we need to add one here, and I think one here and one here eventually. I say eventually because I can't add it right now, and I made this desk pointless now. I like this desk. It was a bit of a receptionist desk or so, and it was a nice to have for what, maybe 2-3 videos. So unfortunately this seat's gonna have to go because we don't need it anymore. All right, so nice and bright in here now with 4 light panels. Look at that. That's not bad at all. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could have just used this inset light as well. So we could have attached it to this guy here. Depending on the sections of where we are. So like right here is the light. So we could do this. We could add inset lights here and also here. Oop. Right, and we get some lighting that way too. And of course we could build onto it if we need to. Should we leave it that way? Actually, it doesn't look that great. If we had half block ones, that might look good. So it would have been like that, which doesn't look terrible. But I think in this case I kind of want to do it this way. For fun for now and see how it goes. Like adding those little rails here near a window, because then you can see like that. I mean, still see it this way, no problem. So definitely not necessary. We're gonna have to start moving some stuff around as well. So like the armory and the lockers, we should really move this stuff out of the way. We got a plan for the kitchen. We're not going to do a weapons rack anymore because I don't think the weapons rack is useful. The lockers store so much more. The 1,000 liters versus 600 liters. Not the best. But then we could add multiple weapon racks in that case too. Or we get rid of both of them and just actually use a small cargo container instead. So there's that. We could possibly do too. And of course a small cargo container holds a ton more space. But it's not as compact as these. But like I said, really no point of a weapons rack. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't hold enough items. But we'll see. Maybe I'll think twice about it, only for design purposes. So like right here, honestly might be like an ideal spot for weapon rack. If we have it on here. No, here's like an armory locker. So if we have a corner, we could use something like this. Or even right here is a decent spot for it. And I'm not even sure how much this holds. So let's just plop this guy on and see. We could try putting it here or on this side. Kind of inclined to put on this side for now, only because the bed's right there. Although the bed's probably and likely not going to stay there. But if we were to put an armory, I should have changed it up to be here. Maybe. I'm not even sure where I want to put this, to be honest. But we could do this. Yeah, we could do this right here, and it wouldn't be too bad. There we go. And I mean, that's not the best, but it could work. We'll figure that out eventually down the line. But the armory locker holds 400 liters. Okay, so that's even worse. So that's definitely not something I'm gonna use. What else do we have? We have the lockers, which is 1,000. Here's a bigger armory, so this might actually hold a ton more. And the armory locker, it only holds about 400, so it's really poor to have. Very useless in that case. But what else is there? I think that's it. So the armory itself looks like that. It kind of looks like that angled one, but let's see. This one holds 400 as well. Okay, so yeah, the best one would be the locker itself, which is right here actually. Yep, so the locker itself seems to be holding the most of things, and that actually fits really well next to the bed. And I mean, for design purposes, then I guess we can go with like the armory lockers and the weapon racks. Where's the weapon rack? And actually, is there different weapon racks where this is the... No, this is where we can scroll like that. So we can go weapon rack and the armory locker. All right, so we could do something like that and wouldn't look terrible. And here is where you utilize the angled interior walls with the beams on the side. And there you go. I actually like the beams because it acts like a column in a way. It looks like a column. That kind of works out. So this is what I'm thinking. The bed, if we can get rid of the top part, that would be nice. But it's there for now, I guess. Or we could, useless, but we could do this. And there we go. So that would make it look a little bit better, but not really at the same time. But if we want to sleep up here, we could. But we're likely to sleep down here. But yeah, it kind of works out in a way. So then the top doesn't look like it's like empty or whatever the case is. And if we really wanted to, we can fill up the top here with the same that we have down here. So we have more space for everything. But like I said, the lockers holds a lot more. 1,000 here, 600 here, and 400 here. So these two will equate to one of these guys. So that's not great, but not terrible either. But that could be the look and feel of it. Right now, I should really maybe change the color of it too, because it is hard to see it a little bit because it kind of blends into the walls right now. So we're gonna have to kind of figure that out as well. But I think that's a good start for our house build or our base build. We have it airtight. That's fine. And we can sit in here and avoid the storm as we see outside. We're not gonna have this chimney like look here because we're gonna end up moving that out. And pretty much, yeah, get rid of the chimney system. We're likely gonna have to do that. Because we're gonna move the O2H2 generator or get rid of it entirely because we haven't really used it. As you can see, is off. But the oxygen tank we definitely need to use, and the farms we can make it part of a larger solar panel system eventually. Then we're gonna have like multiple kind of bases for us. We already have the main home base, and then we have our little farm base here, our greenhouse here for our vegetable growing process, or our pretty much our business here. So we could grow a lot more herbs, sell them for money, and sell other things too, but mainly herbs in this case. And continue to eliminate some competition as we see them. So yeah, let's see how it all goes. But I think we need to make a lot of organics because we ran out of organics to make more herbs. So throw some organics there. So we don't have too many. How can we get more organics the easy way? I guess we would have to kind of buy it. But organics are pretty expensive, so I don't know if that's the best thing to do. So we probably have to use the cheapest option of making and mass producing things to turn to organics that uses the least amount of organics and gravel. But I think actually just buying it would probably be ideal and a lot better than wasting my mats to get rid of them to turn into something else. I don't know. We could always buy things like the chips that are around in the economy bases and just use the trusty throne here. And we should be good to go with organics. Still kind of the same as buying it though, so kind of pointless at that in that sense. All right, so herb grower looks like we stopped production, so let's just always always produce herbs in this case. So we could queue a whole bunch here just for fun. And I like herbs as a unit to sell. Look at that, 420. But yeah, so I like using herbs to sell because it just takes one herb, not one herb, it takes 0.33 herbs, 0.32 organics, and 2 ice to make, which isn't too bad. If we did other ones like mushrooms, that's actually not that bad either. Maybe we should do some mushrooms as well. I mean, herbs and mushrooms, not generally just food. So yeah. But of course, like apples, that's where it comes a little bit more expensive because 4 gravel and 0.67 organics, which is a little bit more, and like doubled organics and includes using gravel, so that's not great. What else is there? Vegetable grower, so cabbage and a pumpkin, those also require gravel. So we could make these and turn into organics, if anything. I think that could work out. And wheat, we could grow wheat, but that requires a lot of gravel. Wow, just for wheat. That's interesting. And then soy is the same thing. Yeah, gravel. So wheat is an easy grower. Mushrooms are easy grower, but we definitely need organic. So what do we have in terms of food here? So like we have pumpkin, we have some cabbage, So I guess we could just use those for compost and organics. And we did make a lot of soy, but that's mainly for producing things like the tofu, so we can make the tofu soup. So there's also that. Actually, we need to queue up some more here. So we'll just do that. So we get some tofu soup, and should probably make the other soups too. But I like making the soups. The soups are nice because it fulfills two things: the food and the water. So that works out pretty well in that case. But yeah, I would love to make something with meat, but we got no animals to take down or hunt. So that's gonna be a problem. But yeah, enough talking for now. I think this is a good start for our house build, our base build. We just gotta work out the kinks in the inside. We don't have to build everything right down the middle, right down the walls. We could build it on the sides, middle, whatever the case is, and kind of make it look good. But we have a nice, less compact base at least. So I think that's it. Let's just go into our new bed that doesn't have a window. And then I'll see you guys next time.